This is the first year in the, I think it's the fifth year maybe, and that I haven't been able to thank personally Mary Jane Smith, who died this summer, and she's always sits in the front somewhere and visits in the back of classes when the writers are here, and she was a dear friend, and we'll miss her. And sometime in smaller gatherings, I'll tell you some interesting stories about great meetings at our house, parties at our house, okay, where we had writers in, and Mary Jane was always there, and to tell stories and to learn how to tell jokes in ways that would be more startling to people. But anyways, she was a wonderful friend of Nichols, as was her husband, and we'll miss her. But today, we're very lucky to have two poets, and they'll be here today and tomorrow. Tim Seibles, who's an English professor at Old Dominion University, who found his way to writing poetry through playing football. He played football at Southern Methodist. He has 5 books and 2 chapbooks out, and his newest is Fast Animal, from which I know a number of classes have written poems already. Shara McCallum is the director of the Stadler Poetry Center, the Stadler Center for Poetry at Bucknell University, and she's a professor of English there as well. She has 4 books out. She is of Jamaica, and she's very busy writing, teaching, and raising 2 young daughters. So they're going to come up and sort of do a like, I don't know, poem off or something like that. Welcome, Tim.
So since we're on the subject of mythology, I mean, cartoons are like contemporary myths, you know? So I'll read you a persona poem, the voice of Bugs Bunny. Though I don't sound much like Bugs Bunny, but you'll get it. This is called What Bugs Bunny Said to Red Riding Hood. Say, good looking, what brings you out this way amongst the fang and the fluffy? Grandma, huh? Some old bag too lazy to pick up a pot? Too feeble to flip a flapjack? And you all dolled up like a fire engine to cruise these woods? This was your mother's idea? She been living in a Cracker Jack box or something? This is a tough neighborhood, mutton chops. You got your badgers, your wild boar, your hardcore grizzlies, and lately, this one wolf's been acting pretty big and bad. I mean, what's up, Doc? Didn't anybody ever tell you it ain't smart to stick out in wild places? Friendly? You want friendly, you better try Detroit. I mean, you're safe with me, sweet cakes, but I ain't a meat eater. You heard about Goldilocks, didn't you? Well, didn't you? Yeah, well, little Miss Sunshine, little Miss I'm so much cuter than thee, got caught on one of her sneaky porridge runs. And the 3 bears weren't in the mood. So last week, the game warden nabs Baby Bear, passing out her fingers to his pals. That's right. Maybe your mother should turn off her soaps, take a peek at a newspaper, turn on some cartoons for Pete's sake. This world is about teeth, bubble buns. Who's biting and who's getting bit? The nerve of that broad sending me out here looking like a ripe tomato. Why don't you just hang a sign around your neck? Get over here and bite my legs off. Cover me with mustard, call me a hot dog. All right, I'll stop. Listen, Red, I'd hate for something unpleasant to find you out here all alone. Grandma Schmandma, let her call Domino's. They're paid to deliver. Besides, Toots, it's already later than you think. Get a load of that chubby moon up there. You can't count on Casper tonight either. They ran that potato head out of town 2 months ago. trying to make friends all the time. He makes you sick after a while. Look, Cinderella, I got some candles and some cold and cola back in my place. What do you say? Got any artichokes in that basket?
I always think poems should have humor in them too. So it's kind of ironic that I'm going to shift gears in a moment. But Tim and I share in common a deep interest in persona. And I'll start with a point that is not a persona point, but that is a treatment of history in which I'm thinking very much about a city, the city of my birth, and about history as a kind of character. So I'm gonna, this is not so funny though, so I have to prepare you for that. It begins with an epigraph from Psalm 137. Those of you might be familiar with it. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem. A couple of things I'll say very quickly. If you haven't read the poem before, it might help to know this. It is partly autobiographical. I was born in Kingston in the 1970s, a time of great political upheaval. And my parents were Rastafarians, my grandparents were not. My grandparents immigrated to the U.S. in 79, and in 81 took us as well. Psalm for Kingston, us being my sisters and I. City of Jack Mandora, Mina choose none. Of Anansi prevailing over mongoose, brother rat, puss, and dog. Anansi, saved by his wits in the midst of chaos and against all odds. Of bawdy big boy stories told by peacock strutting boys, hush hush, but loud enough to be heard by anyone passing by the yard. City of market women and halfway tree with baskets atop their heads or planted in front of their laps, squatting or standing with arms akimbo, susuing with one another, clucking their tongues, calling in voices of pure sugar. Come, Dudu, see the pretty bag I have for you. Then kissing their teeth when you saunter off. City of school children in uniforms playing dandy-shandy and brown girl in the ring, tra-la-la-la-la, eating bun and cheese and bulla and mangoes, juice sticky and running down their chins, bodies arced in laughter, mouths agape, heads thrown back. City of old men with rheumy eyes, crouched in doorways, on verandas, paring knives in hand, carving wood pipes or peeling sugarcane. Of younger men pushing carts of roasted peanuts and oranges, calling out as they walk the streets and night draws near. Of coconut vendors with machetes in hand. City where power cuts left everyone in sudden dark, where the kerosene lamp's blue flame wavered on kitchen walls, where empty bellies could not be filled, where no eggs, no milk, no beef today echoed in shanty towns, around corners, down alleyways. City where Marley sang, Jah would never give the power to a bald head, while the bald heads reigned. Where my parents chanted down Babylon, Jah, Rastafari, Selassie, where they paid weekly dues, saving for our passages back to Africa, while in their beds, my grandparents slept fitfully, dreaming of America. City that lives under a long memoried sun, where the gunmen of my childhood are today's dons, ruling neighborhoods as fiefdoms, where violence and beauty still lie down together. City of my birth, if I forget thee, who will I be, singing the Lord's song in this strange land?